We all want to be seen. In fact, that's kind of the new idiomatic phrasing. I see you, which goes more than just kind of the visual perception, but means that I relate to you, I understand you, I acknowledge you, you matter to me, you are seen. Now, I said that not long ago to Tara, and she really didn't get it because it's kind of a new thing. You want to be seen. I see you. And so many wounded children or adults suffer from not being seen or being taken serious or being noticed. And so in Hebrews chapter 21, you have a woman named Hagar who lived her whole life not being seen. She was a slave, an Egyptian slave. Now go back and let's remind you what we've talked about. She was Sarah's handmaiden who was Egyptian. And Sarah gave her to Abraham to sleep with, to have sex with, so that she could bear a child that would be a surrogate to Sarah and Abraham, and his name was Ishmael. Now, everything was kind of rocking along. It caused a lot of drama because as soon as Ishmael was born, Sarah became tremendously jealous because Abraham was giving Hagar attention. Abraham, probably not the smartest husband in the world, just saying. With the Egyptian thing and the Abimelech thing and some other things that had happened. So this really created drama. Now, this is the second account of Hagar really getting in trouble, and I think this is the biggest one. When Ishmael is first born, Sarah gets jealous, and she says, you got to run that woman off and that baby. And Abraham does it reluctantly, sends her away with some goods, but then she comes back. Now she's back, and Ishmael's growing up with his father Abraham, and in the tent, and so now this happens. So I want you to look at this account. The child grew and was weaned. Who's the child? Isaac, the son of promise, grew and was weaned. And Abraham held a great feast on the day Isaac was weaned. But Sarah saw the son mocking, the one Hagar the Egyptian had born to Abraham. That's Ishmael. So she said to Abraham, drive out this slave with her son, for the son of the slave will not be co-heir with my son Isaac. So this was very distressing to Abraham because of his son. But God said to Abraham, do not be distressed about the boy and about your slave. Whatever Sarah says to you, do. Listen to her, because your offspring will be traced through Isaac. And I'll also make a nation of son slave, because he's your offspring. Early in the morning, Abraham got up, took bread and wineskin, put it on Hagar's shoulders, and sent her and the boy away. She left and wandered into the wilderness of Beersheba. With the water in the skin, she was gone. She left the boy under one of the bushes and went and sat down at a distance, about a bow shot away. For she said, I cannot bear to watch the boy die. While she sat at a distance, she wept loudly. God heard the boy's crying, and the angel of God called to Hagar from the heaven. He said to her, what's wrong, Hagar? Don't be afraid, for God is hearing the boy crying from the place where he is. Get up, help the boy up, and grasp his hand, for I'll make him a great nation. Then God opened her eyes, and she saw well. So she went and filled up the water skin, and gave the boy a drink. So God was with the boy, and he grew, and he settled in the wilderness and became an archer. He settled in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother got a wife for him from the land of Egypt. Okay, she calls God in her time of trouble. I want you to take notice of a few things here in this midweek. There was drama between Sarah and Hagar. No kidding. There had been drama, because when two women are living with one man as husband and wife, it's a mess. Never God's desire. We'll get more into that when we start talking about Jacob. Ishmael was around 13 at the time, and he lacked the emotional intelligence not to react to a little one. And Isaac was around 2 when he was weaned. So 13-year-old boys can be harsh and stupid. So here Ishmael making fun of this little guy. Abraham loved Ishmael. He loved him, and it grieved him to make this decision. Maybe Abraham was weak in character and gave in. I don't know. What do you think? Think about that. God reminded Abraham that God was in control of even Ishmael and Hagar. And God stepped into the situation for Hagar and brought her deliverance. And she calls him El Roi, the God who sees. In fact, this past weekend, we talked about the God who sees. Notice what promised God to Hagar is what he promised to Abraham. And this would lead you to some really insightful thoughts about regarding God, him seeing you, him knowing you, and he knowing your situation, because he's El Roi, the God who sees. I hope this helps, and I look forward to talking to you on the weekend.